I am back, and I don't know, I'm gonna keep saying this, but another sketchbook. So, first off, as you can tell, the cover is unfinished, but that's okay. And yeah, the spine's not that interesting, and I honestly don't know where most of these stickers came from. I bought some from, like, stores, and I got a whole bunch from one of my aunts, like, over Christmas, so that was kind of cool. And yeah, this thing is a hot mess, so I'm just gonna, I guess, get into it. Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry, buddy. Hold up. Okay. Oh look, I made one of my characters out of clay. This is kind of fun. He's something. Okay. I also made this guy, who's right here. Well, friends. Okay. That happened. Great start. So, these are the first pages, and this guy, his name is Chester. I think I made him a couple of sketchbooks ago, and yeah, I've just kind of been developing his character a little more. So yeah, that's kind of all this stuff is. For like the first bit of this, I had like a bunch of random like pages laying around, so I was just like gluing them into here. But yeah, this is Conrad, and they're together. It's definitely developed in this sketchbook, I'll just say that. Restaurant page. Yeah, it's not that interesting. I got some screen tone, which doesn't work very well in this sketchbook, sadly. And yeah, this starts like a whole thing, yeah. Oh, Stormsinger. I have like these dragon characters. They're not really shown as much in this, but they sometimes show up. So this is one of them. And yeah, this whole thing starts from that previous thing. This is another cutout thing. This is Crove. She's dead. Fun. And yeah, this is just like a whole thing. And it was kind of fun, but the subject is not, so that's great. This is Big Wings, Windrunner. This is Kip, and yeah, just all these guys. This is Leia! We like Leia. Leia's cool. I was just messing with her because I felt bad for kind of ignoring her for a while, so that's what all this is. And after this, these guys, along with a character named Thunderbird, who I think will show up later, they kind of like, I'm trying to like make them more like, I don't want to say bonded, but like, they're close at least. So yeah, that's what kind of some of this is. Just some more, I don't even know what to say with this, it's just some random stuff. This is Nightleaf, and she's pretty cool. This was for like an art project. I just kind of submitted it. Yeah. And this was the rest of it, but I never finished it. There was like supposed to be a few more pages, but that didn't happen. This is some stuff with Conrad and like collars and all that, and he doesn't like them very much, as you can tell. I like this though, it's kind of neat. This was kind of continuing that with this page, which I didn't finish. Basically, Conrad, he likes making food, he like does all that, but maybe when he's like upset about something, he just like goes out and buys Chinese food and then takes it back to him and Chester. So that's what that was going to be, but I didn't finish it. This is just another spread with these guys with, I cut out some like paper and just kind of glued it in, and that was really fun. And this was kind of the same thing, and yeah, it was really fun just like putting all this stuff in here. And this was inspired by someone on Instagram, who I'll put their name somewhere up here. So yeah, thank you for that. Here is some stuff with crayon, because I felt like it, I guess. There's really not much thought put into a lot of this. I just kind of draw stuff. So that's what all that was. I found these legs just like in the middle of art, so I put them in here. Oh my god, okay. And then some of these are like cut out from like just random schoolwork things. And this is also just in here. But yeah, this a whole bunch of stuff with Conrad. Okay, Stormsinger, this page, and I actually thought I did this page in my previous sketchbook, but I didn't, so I was kind of like flipping through this earlier to make sure everything was like good, and I found this page and I was like, wow, it's that. But yeah, they're just there. This was like just some random stuff like a while ago, a few years ago in their little universe. And yeah, he used to have ears, but some stuff happened and then they're gone. I'm not gonna get into it because it's kind of a lot, but yeah. This starts like, okay, so there was like this thing, I guess in February, where it was like, you do a comic every hour, and I think it was supposed to be about your day, but I didn't do that. I did it with these guys, so it's about their day instead, and it's just kind of here. And I didn't really do it correctly, but it's good enough. And it started off in watercolor, but I went to crayon because it's easier. So, yeah. Okay, so here is another comic. Basically, Conrad is not doing hot. So I thought it was kind of neat that, like, he's like this here, but he's, like, it's kind of a similar pose. So, like, good day, awful day. So that happens. And I'm working through, like, what's going on with him. I have some, like, basic ideas, because I like making, like, or not making, I like looking up, like, real, like, syndromes and, like, diseases and all that to, like, have a baseline of, like, what's going on. And also it's just really fun looking up that stuff. So, yeah. And Conrad, oh, I'm so sorry, baby. Okay, he's just gonna stay there. He's very unbalanced in a lot of ways. But, yeah, Chester's just here because Conrad needs someone to be with him. And, yeah. So, it's just, you know, all this happens. It's very, like, cheesy because I can't help it. It just happens. And these are just, like, some random little things after that. This was a character, you'll see them in a little bit. This is like a random side character. I don't think I really do anything after this. I didn't finish that. But yeah, I call them Maxwell for now. And this is like a random thing, messing around with the name and all that. But yeah, I think I draw them like in one other page. They're just a random side character. But yeah, they're just here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, just some other random stuff. And, okay, this little thing up here, I got these, like, cheesy quote stickers that they're great. And, yeah, I need to use them more, but that was one of them. Top tier stuff. Yeah. Just some other stuff with Chester, and I was working on this in my German class, and my German teacher was like, is it a monkey or a dog? And then he goes, it's a mog. So, it was actually really funny. I like my German teacher, he's cool. Yeah. This was a Valentine's Day thing, and it also happened to be on page 69, which, great. They're just, yeah. I never know what to say with this stuff. It's so weird. We had a bomb threat at my school, so we were evacuated for, like, the whole day. We just, like, so there were, like, a whole bunch of us in the school, maybe, like, a couple thousand. So we were all just evacuated to, like, all these different churches around the school. So that happened. And this was some other stuff. Here was some fan art for someone on Instagram. I'll also put them up. They did really cool stuff, but I did not. This is not great. This page doesn't matter. This was done in pencil, which I never work with pencil, so it doesn't look good, and I don't know what happened there. But we were just, like, at the school for, like, an ACT sort of thing, and I brought a pencil because that's what they told us to do. But yeah, these pages aren't good. This is going back to, like, some other thing. And Chester basically just outs himself, and he's like, wow, my bad. Yeah. He's just having a moment there. But this was kind of fun to work on. It's just like a bunch of random layered stuff. This was just something in watercolor with these guys and some science in the back. I don't even know. Do I have to explain this? Just another spread. With, yeah, just them being there. Here are my dragons. Just another random little thing with him. These are some just sketches that I didn't want to go back and finish because I didn't want to. This page, or this spread, I guess, I don't like that much, but it's got this fun crinkly paper, and this is on top of like a perfume page, so it smells like, I think, roses. It's really good, but it's also really like overpowering, so it's kind of hard to be there for a while. Deers, okay, singular deer, plural deer, it's all deer. Conrad does not like them. He does not, I hope he doesn't kill the baby, I don't really know, but yeah, there's a whole thing with that. It is like kind of alluded to in this whole thing, but again, I'm not gonna explain it all because it's just, this, you know, it's here. So yeah, here's another deer. This is another thing with Windrunner, with like some race tags, because he runs, I run, you know, it's just cool. Yeah, this is some more random things. This is green. Conrad, I'm pretty sure his favorite color is green. It's either that or blue, and I'm deciding on which. It's kind of such a really ugly green. This was, like, I wrote a bunch of text, and I just kind of, like, cut it out and did a bunch of stuff with it, with Windrunner and Big Wings and, like, Grief and all that. So yeah, it's just kind of there. And I'm just messing around with, like, different materials. And then this all is going on. Oh, and then, more deer. Wow. I did this whole, like, pastel spread, which was really fun, but it was also really messy, so that's why that is there. And there is, like, some texture, like, that I did with it, but it's kind of hard to see on here. And it's also, like, kind of muddied up since I did it, because I carried this thing with me everywhere. But yeah, it was really fun. There's some colored pencil stuff with just some of these guys. I think I've mentioned them all already. There's some more crayon stuff. They're just kind of there. Yeah, I was going back to the thing from before, like that little 2-page comic thing or whatever. Some more just random stuff. Here were like some very basic prosthetic things with Chester. Yeah, it's just there. And here was going from that prosthetic thing because he didn't like them, and I didn't like him either. So yeah, it just felt like a pen comic that continued for a little bit, and then I throw some gouache over here and some gouache over here, and yeah, that's pretty much all that. This week was rough, so I of course had to do something with my characters about it, because that's just how it is, I guess. And here's some stuff with Conrad. He's so cool. I was just kind of like messing with like stars and all that. Oh, here I was messing with their last name, because like in their universe they're like, I don't think they're married yet, but they're at least together, and I was like, what are their names gonna be? Are they gonna change their last names or not? And yeah. Best page in the sketchbook, I do not need to explain. Look at the date if you want to. This was another My Life Sucks page. It's great. No, everything's fine. I'm good. As I immediately go to another Everything Sucks page, but whatever. This was a joke that my brother sent me this text. Here is some Windrunner stuff, because I wanted to draw him. I don't like these pages, but he got a job here. Here's some stuff with Stormy and Leia, because they're friends. Well, they're more than friends. They're not like romantic or anything, but they're close. These are just random pen sketches that I was gonna go back and like do stuff with, but I didn't. This was fun to do. Windrunner, he's got a lot of issues, and you know, just kind of going through some stuff. And yeah, sometimes when you're like that, you don't feel like talking, so that's what all that is. From here was some Easter stuff, which I don't like these pages, so yeah. So some more Easter stuff, just like different characters talking about stuff. Well, this is Water Rush, and his daughter, Taya, and him and Thunderbird are together. And you can see Thunderbird's paw right here. Some more stuff. And I start like a random little comic here about like Conrad and earrings, and like, does he want earrings or not? I don't know. But he doesn't like his ears being touched at all. So that's like the whole thing with that. And then it switches immediately to a totally unrelated comic, which is like pen and stuff. And this is Thunderbird. He's colored later, you'll see. But it's just like I just had a whole idea like going on, and I just wanted to like get it down quickly. So I just did this whole thing with a bunch of pen. And yeah, Thunderbird, he's pretty cool. But yeah, this goes on for like a hot minute, so I'll probably just like flip through them, because like there's a lot of dialogue, and it's just kind of very messy. So yeah. Here's another colored piece, which is fun. Another race thing. Should end. Yeah, this is where it ends. I was gonna continue it, but I didn't. Some more stuff with these guys. And I think this is from a song. I'm not entirely sure. I just kind of wrote it and I'm like, hey, that sounds similar to something I heard before. Yeah. I've been like messing with like a prosthetic leg for this one at least. And this is some stuff with them, and I wanted to keep its paws because I felt bad cutting them off. So that's what all that is. As I abuse all these poor little creatures around this. Here was a pretty fun page that I started in an art class, but then I came home and I found some like old envelopes and I just cut them up and put these guys on them. So that was fun. And this is also from a song, or the title at least. Here's some more stuff with Windrunner and Bigwings. I had an idea with this guy, but I ended up not doing it because I felt bad. Here's Wolf. I want to work on them more with like everything, because I've been neglecting the poor thing. And these pages are just kind of not great. Some more Leia stuff. Yeah, more just prosthetic stuff. And they're just sleeping. Or not sleeping, I guess he's not, but you know. These are just like, I don't even know what happened. They're just here. And under here, it used to be a whole bunch of like race tags, but you can't even see them anymore. They are gone. And I do like how I drew them here. That's kind of fun. I don't like this page. Just ignore that. Here, I found some puff paint. So I was messing with that, and it's kind of fun. Great sound. Another page, more screen tone, but it didn't work too great. Which, yeah, I mean, this sketchbook isn't meant for it. There's some more, like, cutting stuff out. And I got some, like, pearlescent ink. And I only meant to get normal black ink, because I was out. So I haven't really been doing much with this pearlescent stuff, because, you know, I didn't mean to get it, really. I didn't read the label. Here's some stuff with Thunderbird and Water Rush. And I was like messing around with his speech and all that, and like the handwriting I used for it. Inspired by this person, who I'll again put up here. They do some really cool stuff. But he's like pretty much deaf, and he doesn't speak too great. So I was like messing around with like, how would you portray that through like writing, you know? So that's what all that was. This was unfinished. It was gonna be like a little younger Conrad, like a little after all the burn stuff happened. But yeah, I didn't finish it. This is some stuff with these guys. I don't like it that much, but yeah. This is like the only other time I mentioned Maxwell from before. Grove, before she died. These guys were all like really chill. Just some other stuff with these guys. You know, same stuff as always. More puff paint. Ooh, here was some stuff with Grove and Stormsinger. They were just kind of like hanging out, having a good time. And then this is like some modern sort of stuff, except for this, which is like Conrad a little after all the burn stuff happened, and he was not happy, rightfully so. This starts like a comic that's kind of on and off through here, but yeah. I don't even know, like, there are so many materials that I was using with this thing, like, yeah. But basically, Kip from before and Conrad, they're both like the general, like, leader sort of guys. And Kip's not happy with Conrad for a few reasons. So that's kind of what all that was. More just crayon stuff with some, like, I used like an old candy bar wrapper that had some gold on it. And like, was just messing with like, I don't want to say carving into it, or like engraving, but whatever that term is. Testing out some stuff. We got to go outside one day for art, so that was pretty fun. But some people didn't like it, and it's like, but it's outside, it's kind of fun. But you know, understandable if you don't like the heat. Some more from that comic. Here, I was testing out even more supplies, which was really fun. Yeah, this is some more of that. And then they like are finally like, okay, we can do whatever. And that starts like the final stretch of this thing. So it was started off with like acrylic, and I was just doing some like really basic backgrounds because I didn't want to draw them. And then this whole thing happens with Conrad, and he's like, oh no, smoke, fire, we don't like fire. That's basically what that was. And then, so like, I don't really know how this happens, but like, Thunderbird appears, and kind of gets him out of all that. And here I was messing around with more of that, like, speech. So, yeah. So, Thunderbird basically explains, like, why Kip isn't there, and that she'll show up pretty soon. And then, it's like, it's weird explaining it out loud, but, you know, Conrad's just kind of in his own head doing stuff, and Kip is here, so it's all fine. Until Kip starts saying stuff, and Conrad doesn't like it. So, yeah. Oh, poor little guy. So that's what all that is. So, eventually, yeah, all this happens, and Conrad is feeling pretty awful, which, I mean, he has been through the whole thing. But, yeah, it just gets worse and worse. And all this happens. And that's pretty much it. Here's a bookmark. Here's Conrad. Here are the thumbnails for these last few pages, because it was hard getting through it. But yeah, that is it. Okay, goodbye.